Welcome back. Today, we are going to talk about tough love. This is one of Jesse's Allos, and it's not functioning properly. Its tummy inventory is so full it can't move. In other words, his weight stat is almost at maximum. When it reaches maximum, he'll be so encumbered that he won't be able to move. Not being able to move means that it cannot protect itself properly. So, I am going to knock it out, empty its belly inventory, and he'll be moving around like normal when he wakes up. Now, on the surface, it might seem, with me shooting it, that I'm hurting it. And to a certain degree, I am, because he is taking damage from me shooting him with these tranq darts. But if I do my job properly, it won't be anything he won't heal, with air quotes, from quickly. When he wakes up, he'll be as good as new. Now, I admit that at first it was tough for me to shoot the Allos, but now it's not a big deal. While it's hard to see others go through a tough time, one thing that I think people miss is loving themselves and giving themselves praise for when they successfully go through tough times or give themselves credit for enduring. So let's look at an example. Today, BTS, which is a K-pop group, knocked out. And you're going to see here when I open him up, see what his weight stat is? So it would have gotten to a point where he could not move. So I'm going to empty him out. So anyway, BTS released Burn the Stage on YouTube Red today. It's a documentary about this K-pop group, which has blown up. I told you they would, the past year. It's a behind the scenes look of their last tour, the Wings tour. Now, the thing about K-pop groups is that they are packaged and when they are put together. So members are assigned a persona and they have a concept, and it's the job of these members to adhere to the concept of the group and their personas. And it's a pretty package. They always look good. They're always smiling. They're always loving each other. It's a package. And if the group is lucky enough to achieve success, what I've noticed with many K-pop groups is that they will try to undo the personas so that they can be more of their true self, which coincides with them being adults, because they usually start off very young in the industry. So the personas don't even fit anymore. So it just makes it more stressful for them to try to pull off this pretty package. So in today's episode, we saw Jimin anxious and feeling guilty because he messed up twice during a performance. It ate at him so bad that he started to cry. We also saw right after that Cookie go through some issues, physical issues, while he was performing. He wasn't feeling well, and he was in the area high in the mountains, which has high altitude, and he was at risk of passing out. He was exhausted. He knew he was pushing himself, but he gave it his all. And the reason why was because he had one thought in his mind, and that is, it might be a while before he goes back there again. The others had to trust that everything would be okay. So they had to watch him go through that hard time. And you could see that they were worried and concerned. I wouldn't have wanted to be the camera person filming that. But again, that's tough love. Many in the fandom were a wreck after seeing the show. They were in tears, very emotional. I watched the reactions silently because I realized that this is something that they needed to go through. I mentioned on Twitter that I most likely would not have any emotion through this. I have another one that I have to knock out, so bear with me. So anyway, these people are growing up. And I don't mean that in a demeaning way, but they're getting a realistic understanding of what BTS goes through. It's time for them to unpack the pretty package and see the diamond inside. There are many people like me, like I said, who already knew about this, what they go through. And they weren't in shock. They weren't in pain. I didn't get emotional. I felt emotion to a certain degree when I saw the signs while they were experiencing it a year ago. I may not have fully understood the reasons why, but in some instances, you could tell that they were going through something. So while I gave my thoughts on the episode, I patiently let people work through their feelings, and I noticed something. While people are saying how great the guys are, they're forgetting something important. You, yes, you, listening to this or watching this, are pretty cool yourself. What you saw in the video is nothing the average person doesn't experience. I mean, let's look at some examples. Some pregnant women are sick for months and endure it to bring life into this world. There are girls whose monthly is so painful, yet a week out of every month for decades, they figure out a way to endure. I have a male friend who has migraines twice a week, so painful, and they last for hours, and his doctor is unable to determine the cause, yet he still has to perform accurately at work in a technical field. He's still a father, a husband, etc. There are people that are dealing with depression and health issues, struggling to make it from one day to the next. There are people with terminal illnesses and sicknesses. Dan's gaming, his mother was recently diagnosed with cancer, yet every day, he makes other people smile. Using myself as an example, this is the first winter that I haven't been sick since I started this channel. Yet there are 1,000 videos online, 1,000 plus, where I helped others get through their bad times. So while it's great to have empathy for others, don't forget to love yourself. Love yourself and acknowledge your successes. Learn from your failures. No one's perfect. We all make mistakes. And while I can't tell you what to do, and I'm not trying to tell you what to do, we might not be where we want to be in our lives. Our voice might crack. We might push ourselves too hard. Or we might pursue something to the point where it's not healthy for us, like these aloes do. But they are layers in a foundation that leads to wisdom. And remember that knowledge is power, if and only if you have the wisdom to wield it properly. I know that the saying is knowledge is power, but that's only part of the puzzle. And I'm going to give you an example of that. When you're in school, particularly in college, they give you, at least in the US, what is called a syllabus. And on that syllabus, you know the majority of the work that is expected from you and when it's due. And you're given the books and the resources to be able to do the work and turn it in on time and ace it. It just means that you have to exert what needs to be done to make sure that you get the grade. You have to push yourself as hard as necessary, and how hard you push yourself varies between each person. Some have it easier than others. But you are given everything that you need. You have the knowledge. You have it. But those with the wisdom and the ambition and the determination to use that knowledge to the fullest, to their advantage, that's when it becomes power. So when I was in school, I know myself, oh my God, I get bored. Semesters are miserable for me. Quarters are still too long. So what I do, because I know my personality, is I hit a class hard right up front. Right up front. I will be 90% through the class in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So when the teacher is talking about something, I already have a list of questions. And then halfway through that class, I'm in cruise control mode because I've done the work already. And I get bored. I admit it. It has to be a really, really interesting class to keep my attention for that long. So to overcome that, that's what I do. So you find a way to overcome the hurdles in your life. So guess what? You'll never guess. You remember back, about 2 years ago, Time Warner was supposed to come out here in the area and fix cables and whatnot, because one of the disadvantages in living in an older neighborhood is that things get old. So those wires that they put down are over 10 years old, and it was causing internet speeds. Well, on Monday, it's finally fixed. I am back with everybody else being able to surf the internet at decent speeds, and Monday I just downloaded all the things, and Tuesday I just no data caps. I'm in heaven. In heaven. So today I'm going to practice uploading. I've just been having fun downloading. I haven't even. So I now, knock on wood, have the speed to be able to stream. So I'll be playing around with that and playing around with possibly 1080. It depends on how many people are actually watching at 1080. Because the last time I checked, most people were still on mobile. So it's really not worth all the processing time to do it. I'm going to see, but I'm a happy camper. I cannot express how happy I am. So that's it for this one. I'm going to talk more about these kind of things, and they may seem sappy, but I work with a lot of youth, and I interact with adults. And it's like, dude, do you know how cool you are? You're telling me I'm cool. What about you? What about, they're cool. What about you? So, yeah, you're cool. Acknowledge it. Go look in the mirror. Get up. Stop listening to me. Get up. Go look in the mirror and just look at yourself and be like, yeah, I owned this one particular thing. And, I'm going to own some other things as I learn through experiences and go through life. So that's it for this one. Thank you for watching. There is a change in my base that you don't see here. We'll see if you spot it the next time I upload a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.